Welcome to Austin's Avenue. This is Austina speaking.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Austin Avenue. My name is Austin, of course, and we are back here on Clark Corner. To my right, your left, is again my beautiful sister Challen, and to my left, your right, my just stud of a brother, Gareth. As always, our hope today is to do three things. Entertain, encourage, and keep ourselves from going crazy here at the house, as we're all quarantined. Yay! Well, now that we've opened up, I think what I just... is there a dry in my throat? Is that a fly? Is that a piece of dust? No, I'm thirsty for coffee!
Wow, what an introduction. I wasn't sure where we were going for a second there. I feel a little odd. I'm a little, like a foot in front of everyone else, so turning back is like... Hello! Coffee, yes. Our coffee today is, once again, not very special for the same reason it was last week.
Out of his chest.
How long has it been there?
A few weeks, nothing but... So it's just the Starbucks Blonde blend, and it is, once again, a blended coffee, so it is not one unique bean or one unique area. It's just, it says Latin America coffee, so any guess of what that actually is? I actually really try to make an effort to buy Starbucks coffee if I'm just looking around at kind of average store, other store, don't know what the word I'm looking for here. Brands, like not good brands and Starbucks is the only mediocre brand there, then I'll buy Starbucks because I know it's more ethically sourced in general, not perfectly, but ethically, and I really like to look in that. Also, the bag is yellow. So I saw it, I was like, brown bag, gray bag, yellow bag.
High marketing. Way to go.
So, yellow coffee bags is the way to go to get Gareth to buy them. So once again, it's not an extremely, like, high quality coffee in the sense that you're not going to be, like, looking for the specific traits of that region or the bean or the brewing method or the roasting method, roasting method, but that's what we have. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. I'm
excited for this.
I have already put a thermometer in the coffee, so I know roughly what temperature it's at. Once again, we're the same brewing method. It's just a Mr. Coffee machine that's an auto drip filter type dealio. Once again, I have left very little for myself, but that's all right. Serving heartedness and all.
Coffee of the people. Do you hear the people sing the songs of angry men? Hey, you ASMM people. ASNM people?
ASLM? What?
Okay, are we ready? Cheers. Starbucks, here we go.
Yellow
3,
bag.
2, 1.
Ooh.
That to me feels
It's the bone.
It's burnt.
full-bodied. I feel a big body.
I feel a burnt body.
I feel a big
It's a
body
burnt body.
in the room. There's a big body.
Can I just throw you under the bus here and say you made it?
Who's the big body? Did you just call him a big body?
No, I said, can I throw you under the bus right now and say that Austin made it? But no, it was probably because it was sitting on the...
How do I know that it tastes burnt though? So
To
I
drag
would not
you out of the bus.
We're not throwing
save
Austin
my life,
under the
sister.
bus.
Come on, get me out of there.
We're not
Maybe
throwing
burnt,
Austin under the
but
bus.
it's not-
I've noticed this before about coffee is when you leave it on an auto drip heated plate, it can get that really just burn the coffee.
Yeah.
And it's, once again, this isn't a very high quality coffee. I wouldn't necessarily bring high quality coffee through the machine we have anyway. It would be a waste, but it would be like, I don't know, putting normal fuel in a not fancy sports car.
I still feel full-bodied. How are you telling me how I would know whether it was burnt or not?
For me, it just tastes burnt. It's hard to describe except that, like, I can taste the burntness. It's like almost an ashy taste.
Blankets the tongue.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good way of saying it.
Okay, come on. What else you got? What else you got for me? Come on.
Don't leave your coffee on the burner for.
What I will comment about this coffee is that it does have a larger body. It is.
Oh, big body. Come on.
It does have I don't know. It's just more full in general instead of being like I can't use my descriptive words. John,
Thin-bodied?
Where's
Instead of a
Slender
thin-bodied
body.
coffee, instead of that Slender Man coffee, come get you some big-bodied coffee. Someone who's gonna blanket your tongue and take a real good care of you. Starbucks, yellow bag. Thank you. Well, now that we're well on our way down the caffeine train.
we didn't?
Oh, vote! Ugh.
Rehired.
Put it-
Rehired.
Thank you. Throw that sucker in
It's
reverse.
my job. Gotta do it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. What is it from you?
If the coffee was prepared properly, I would have given it a yes. Because it has not been prepared properly, this specific beverage is a no.
This specific cup.
Cup. This specific cup, this specific batch. Specific, not Pacific. That's an ocean.
As someone who has often, though not anymore, been described as a full body, I would definitely, it's a yes for me, definitely. And I also will say, in an addition, I like this
Batch?
better than last week's coffee.
Oh.
Full shade being thrown and shots at whatever that was, Food Lion, Corona,
Cameron's.
Kova.
Cameron's Kona blend.
It's pronounced COVID.
Cameron's COVID blend. I liked it, but it definitely was not as good as this. So I'm not usually a Starbucks guy because of their political leanings. But thank you, green little lady. You've buttered my biscuit.
I was about to just ask you to butter your biscuit. Glad you added that.
Chanel smoke well.
I have enjoyed the previous Starbucks blonde coffees that I've had before, so I know that it's a good flavor, and it's like usually lighter, I think, and maybe fruity. This could be just bull poop. But I do appreciate it, usually. However, this batch is not buttering my biscuit. So because
The biscuit is burnt.
because of that, because just this singular batch is not so good, it's a no for me. But
Wow.
the coffee itself is a yes for me.
Well, you know what that sounds like to me, folks? It sounds like more coffee for yours truly. So thank you, and thank you, and thank you. As we as a brand, the Clark Corner brand, continue to work our way through what we're going to do here on Clark's Corner, we're going to be trying, figuring, consider, in your mind, think Play-Doh. And so we're just going to be shaping ourselves around different things. Last week, didn't love the BuzzFeed segment, and so we took that piece of Play-Doh and we just took it right back into the jar. And we're going to take it back out and reshape it into something else. Now, perhaps like yourself, we are, again, alone and very isolated and
Hashtag single.
need some therapy, you know, like you need to get things off your chest, you need to share about yourself, you need to just open up your heart and just let some things out of there, and you're not getting that as you normally would with your friends, with your therapist, with your counselor, with your life coach, and so we have to do the best that we can. Now, obviously, none of us here are trained and licensed professionals, and so we have brought a specialist in today. So let me just let him know. All right. Well, as you can see, our specialist here has made his way onto the set. We have our therapist, Gregory, here.
Dr. Gregory.
Dr. Gregory, in-house therapist, is here. And, he's brought his little therapy tool here, which is definitely not tabletop do-it-yourself therapy. This is a very specialized piece of therapeutic equipment. And, Dr. Gregory, why don't you get us started? I think you have some questions for us. Is that correct?
The first question is, have you ever had to calm somebody down on an
Perhaps the lady in our presence would like to lean into the microphone and speak first.
I have. Should I answer?
Yes, please.
Doctor,
Yes.
Mr. Big Body.
I didn't get a name.
Smart ass.
Language.
I have, in a way, not in the dramatic movie way that I'm having like a panic attack and someone has to like throw water in my face or something like that. Just nerves on my first flight. I was going to Denver, Colorado, and I was really excited, and I was squished all the way in the back, like all the way in the back. Like
Toilet seat?
right behind me was the back of the plane,
Love
and
Oh, like on the wing?
yep, just hanging out,
Like on the Muppets.
But I did get to have a window seat, and there's this father and son sitting next to me, and they were gladly gave up their window seat for me when they found out it was my first flight. And the little boy, oh no, it was the dad. The dad was like, it's fun. It's great, or something like that. It was very just like, it's good, enjoy it. And they let me have the window seat, which was very kind of them. And I just kind of breathed and then prayed through any slight anxieties I had. But it was a really smooth, enjoyable flight.
Might I suggest that the question was, have you
Remark.
ever calmed somebody down on an airplane? Not
Do
has
it both
anybody.
ways.
Not has anybody calmed you down on an airplane.
That's why he's the therapist.
Thank you, doctor. I don't know what that says about me.
It's called reading. It'll help you.
You want to say something again, Austin?
I have not calmed anybody down.
No? Okay. Next.
Doctor, may I answer? Thank you. I have to the first. Have I ever been calmed on an airplane? Not specifically, kind of like that. Something that does really stick out to me, and that really did impact me heavily, was the last time I was flying. I was flying to, where was I flying to? I guess Florida, and I was on the aisle seat because I pay like $20 for my plane tickets, but I was on the aisle seat, and I looked ahead of me, and there was this couple that was across the aisle from each other, and I've flown a few times, and so it doesn't really get me nervous or anything, but I was looking ahead of me, and the woman is kind of starting to get a little anxious, and she's not even looking anywhere else. She's kind of like looking down in her lap, and you can tell on her face that she's like trying to listen to her music, and we're taxiing, and she's getting a little concerned, and her husband sees her and reaches across the aisle and grabs her hand, and that just kind of very basic moment of love laid out was really impactful to me. And when we had turbulence later on in the flight, he did the same thing. He reached over and grabbed her hand and did not let go. He didn't care that there was people. Like, he had to let go sometimes and let people walk by. Like, he was in the way, and it was not easy. And he knew people were looking at them, I'm sure. But he like was not afraid, or like he wanted to be there for her and let her know that he was there. And so that's not a story about me, but that was hugely impactful, and I thought that was beautiful.
I don't have any story, once again, directly answering the question, but I have been on airplanes a lot. Most of them successful stories. I generally don't need to be calmed down on flights, and I usually love turbulence, like I said. Though I will say I was recently on a fair ride, and I saw a similar occurrence happen with myself about that. Having a calming person really does benefit people. I was sitting next to this small girl. I didn't go with her. She wasn't related to me. I was once again having a ball on this ride. It's like going up and down, but I feel like because I was so confident in how I was acting and how unshaken I was by the fact that it's like spinning upside down and it's crazy. She actually felt more free to, like, she was actually, and keep in mind this is like a 7-year-old girl, like letting go of the things like, ah! As I'm looking at her, she's feeling more and more comfortable, and I think that's part of it, is like just being a source of peace and being a source of, I'm comfortable, other people see that and are aware, oh, it's gonna be okay, just to kind of mirror back to your story.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Dr. Greg.
Gregory.
Dr. Gregory.
Senor Gregory.
You may, I think you can, I think you can walk away strong. Walk away strong.
This is not a graduation. You've been drinking too much of that
Yellow
stuff. Okay, not that either. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shut it.
As we wrap up our our time together here on Clark Corner, I want to bring you guys an encouraging word, and it really is by the grace of God, I guess, that it fit in really well to Garrett's story of comforting, and that is the word I have for you is rooted. And earlier today, as I was outside, it rained a lot today, and we have a section of our yard that was torn up because of some work that we had done, and there was just this big, section of red clay, which when you think of nourishing soil, red clay is not what comes to mind and not recommended by your local gardener. Gareth spent some time several days ago cultivating, again, it was just cultivating the clay because there wasn't go deeper into dark soil. It was just still clay, but he spread some grass seed and left it there. And we've been waiting to see if the grass seed would take hold, and finally, several days out, and we go out every day, almost like you would see in a storybook. We're out there every day looking at the soil, seeing if the grass seed is going to come up and make our yard whole again. And finally, today and yesterday, we're starting to see it come up. And when we went out there today, I was really struck by and excuse the cheesiness, but the beauty of having something new come from nothing, come from dirt, come from unsustainable, what it looks to be unsustainable, like rocky red soil. And yet, you draw close, and Gareth and I are seeing the little roots produce these little teeny little grass shoots, and there's just something beautiful in that. So I would love to offer that rooted as the encouraging word, and I actually, as to just further kind of hit that sucker home, I'm going to read you just a quick verse out of Isaiah 61. This is from the Bible. Isaiah was a prophet. It's in the Old Testament. And so, 61 the end of verse 3, and this is the Spirit of God coming upon Isaiah and talking like who he is going to be and what he is going to be to the people. So there's a whole list of things that he is promising to be, and one of these is
Who's the he in that case?
God talking to Isaiah.
Okay.
So he's talking to his people. He's describing what he will be to his people and what the people will be. Okay. And so right here is what he's describing, what the people of Israel will be through the Lord. And so it says that they may be called oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. And just the imagery there of being planted and rooted in the Lord, and that is going to be glorifying to him, and that is righteousness. Being planted in the Lord is righteousness and will be glorifying to him. So again, that was just a little encouraging word. Take the word rooted with you this week as you go forward. How are you going to be rooted as it applies to maybe something really that you wouldn't even think about, like someone being beside someone on a ride, or even more as people are looking around struggling to make sense of their world? How are you going to be rooted? How can we be rooted and be something firm for people, not in firmness of ourselves, but for the glory of God, because he is our firmness. We are planted in him. I would encourage all of you to strive and be that new grass in what looks to be just the insanity of clay. That some could argue that's what we're at right now in our world.
Mm.
So that's the encouraging word I have for you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Dr. Greg, thank you for being here. As always, everybody, stay studly. We will see you next week on
you.
Austin Ave. Thank you and good night. Thank you so much.
I lied!